What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? It's Coach Reg back on deck with another one for y'all today. Now, let's talk about something real quick. Friends, family, and associates. How do you deal with them? How do you handle them? Do you leave them? Do you still conform to their type of thinking to make yourself feel comfortable or make them feel comfortable? What do you do? Now, on this conscious spiritual journey, we are waking up. We're coming to find out that we are more than meets the eye. There is more to us than they have told us. And there is so much information out there that if you actually go on a deep dive, not even a deep one, a shallow one, you're going to find out that the type of thinking that you used to have was put in there, which means your thoughts weren't even yours. There was somebody else's programming that was put into you that forced you to think a certain way, that forced you to love a certain thing, that forced you to be accepted by a certain people and to have a type of conversation. Now, when you start to change these things and start to challenge the ego which lives inside of you, ego, okay? Always the set of programs, the thing that's been built in you since childhood, since the age of 7, ego. All right. It's always telling you to do the thing that is most comfortable. It is afraid of growth. Now, when you're on this journey, you're not simply praying, you're not praying for growth. I pray for growth. You're actually watering yourself. You're taking control of your life. And when you take control of your life, you come to find out there are certain people that you have been around for all of your years that haven't, that won't, that engage in types of conversation that have forms of thought that you're trying to break away from. So the question is do you still deal with them? Do you still hang around them? Now let's talk about associates first, because I'm going to go from associates to friends to family. Associates are people that you associate with on a daily basis. People at work, people maybe in a group, people in a gym, basketball. I have associates on the basketball court. I keep it there. I don't really, hang with them outside the basketball court. They talk about going to places with each other, but I'm never really there with them on that particular time. Because besides basketball, most of my friends that I play basketball with, we don't really have anything in common. And that's cool. We keep it basketball. And that's what I call associates. Associates are people that you associate with in your daily life, but you leave it there. You don't really talk about engaging conversations with. There's nothing that you really deal with on a personal level. You just associate with those people. And many of my associates are people that I've known for 20, 30 years. But because of growth of maybe them or me or wherever they are in the journey, we have not been able to build on a different level. Maybe they're in religion, I'm in spirituality and consciousness, and those two things don't mix, oil and vinegar. Now, with your associates, you're going to deal with them. But with your associates, if you want to keep them associates, if you do, don't have these conscious conversations with them if you want to keep them. Now, if you don't give a damn, like me, don't come to me with the information, because I'm going to hit you with it. But I don't volunteer what I know to my associates. Most of my associates don't even know what I do. Don't even know what I talk about. And that's cool, because you want that. I want that relationship what it is. And I don't need to be trying to make them grow because I come online for that. I come if you want to come to me for that, but that's what I do. So you keep what you are, what it is, and you let them associate with you for what they do. And that's it. Okay. Let's talk about friends. Friends are people that you deal with more on a personal level. People that you have probably known for a specific amount of time, people you have around your family, people you have around your, you go out with, these types of things. Now, these type of relationships are more complicated to deal with when you become conscious, because one, you're going down you're going down a rabbit hole of information that is changing and challenging your constant thinking, and you're realizing that the things that we normally talk about are not things that you deem important anymore. Not that your conversations are not good. It's just that I'm not on that particular vibration anymore. I am growing to a new form of thought and understanding, and I want to challenge myself. And I realize that having you as a friend, maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you're not on that level. And that's cool. No judgment here. It's just not where you are. So when you're with that type of understanding and you're with that form of thought, it's time to separate from those people. Now, maybe you separate from all people that you deem as friends, because when you get on this conscious journey, you want to isolate yourself so you can figure out who you are. Because when you're in a circle of friends, you're in a circle of friends dominated by probably the biggest ego in the group, the biggest and most dominant person that has their viewpoint. That's what I call the dominant ego of the group. And normally, the other people in the group conform. Now, if you're in a group of friends which always challenge each other with thought, and always went back and forth in positive conversations of debate, then these are good groups. But if you're in a group that all the people in the group have one form of thought, they talk about things that you don't deem important no more, it may be time to get new friends, because they're not going to help you on this next stage of your evolution. They were here for the previous stage, but you got to realize there is new seasons for all forms of growth. And when you get to that season, you have to realize that if you continually try to hold on to people who don't really serve your higher purpose, you're going to go through a lot of things to try to push you out of that, because you have guys around you that are going to try to propel you to growth. And if you try to be bullheaded and you're going to go through things that's going to make you grow. I'd rather just go into growth consistently, go into growth without resistance, because that's where you won't go through as much trauma or as much nonsense as you would go through when you fight against things. You're fighting against the tide. You're trying to swim, but it's pushing you that way, and you're trying to continually hold on to people who don't serve you because you're afraid of growth. It's not you afraid of growth. It's your ego afraid of growth. And your higher self, which is in you, wants to do things that challenges you. And if you only know, I'm just telling you what you already know. You know when you're around individuals who don't really help you. You know when you're trying to conform to their thinking and it doesn't really serve you. You know this, but you are afraid of being by yourself because maybe you have never been by yourself. But being by yourself, what I know personally is you're going to achieve the greatest levels of growth with challenging yourself, because you forgot that you are the show. You have been in everybody else's show, but you have forgotten that you are the star. Now, by remembering you are the star and by moving in your truth, you will attract the friends that you really want. And it may take a long time, because if you realize the conscious ones are scattered. So understand that, because, spirituality is one thing, consciousness is a different thing. We are all spiritual beings. All of us are spiritual. Every last one of us is spiritual. But when you become conscious, that's a whole different ball game. Becoming aware of things going on. I could get into it for a whole hour with all the nonsense. But if you have been going down a rabbit hole, you already know what I'm talking about. And these types of things are conversations which, when you speak about them, people just turn off. They just they don't know what to do. It's like they have a specific programming in them that only can talk about certain things. And when you get into other things, which make them challenge their reality, they don't know what to do. They turn off. And if you're in one of those type of friendships, it's time to end the friendship. You'll be okay. You'll be fine. Okay? Let's talk about the most difficult one for most people who become conscious. Family. Now, let's talk about family with spirituality, because most of us come from families that come from a religious background. Now, when you tell many people who are religious, you're spiritual, they automatically think it's bad. Automatically. Not realizing that we're all spiritual beings living in a human body, going through a human experience. Religion teaches you to look outside of yourself. Spirituality teaches you to look inside of yourself and fix those things which you deem that don't serve you. Understanding that instead of serving and worshiping a God, you realize that you are the God, and you're going to start serving and worshiping yourself. Now, when you talk about these things with many of your family do not want to support your growth. It can be because they have seen you in your lower phases, in your lower states. And they have put you inside of a box that they feel comfortable only when you're in. When you jump out of that box, it reminds them that they need to be out the box as well, and they feel uncomfortable around you, and they have trouble supporting you. Trouble with understanding what you're talking about because they cannot respect who you're becoming. Now, when that happens, you're going to find a lot of opposition with you and family members. So I suggest, even though they're blood, you realize that blood is only tied to the human avatar body which we live in. But it is actually not your family. Now, their family in your developmental stages of coming to find out who you are. And you realize that the family that you really understand are your spirit family because it's just blood, but it's not tie. It's not something that you feel like. A lot of y'all are continually giving your energy to family and it's draining you. And that's detrimental to your growth because you feel tie and attachment. Attachment is a physical thing. It's a thing of the ego. Your higher self does not want to be attached to many things in this physical realm because your spirit is not physical. It's encased inside of a physical body. And your family is one of the things that your higher self considers a weakness. Now, if you are around family that does not serve your higher purpose and you cannot build with, it is okay to walk away from family. I'm saying it. It is okay. All right? Don't trip about what they're saying. Understand that many of them cannot see who you are because all they think about is who you were. And by them thinking about who you were, many people can never ever respect who you are. It goes from friends from a long time ago. It goes from family that has known you forever. You cannot be a prophet in your own town, in your own family. Many people just never will respect you for who you are. And that's okay too. Because in this journey, there are many losses and there are many gains. When you let things go, you realize that what comes your way is much greater than what you lost. But by holding on to what you lost, you'll never ever know what you can gain. So how do you know unless you let go? You have to be confident with living in your truth. Be confident with living with what you say and what you feel about yourself and not being afraid to express yourself. With family, with friends that you have known for a long time, by coming into this information, you feel weird by expressing yourself because you know it's not how they feel. And by how they feel, it affects what you do. You understand? And many times when you bring this information to your family, you're going to get in arguments, you're going to feel emotional. Sometimes you got to be by yourself. And if you're with a spouse that is not on your journey, you know what to do. All right? If this person is not rocking with you, if you have gotten married too young, if you are not going this way and that way, you realize there's always going to be opposition and somebody in that relationship is going to win. If you are not willing to give up your consciousness or your spirituality, if the other person is not on your level, you realize the person is going to drain you. People are energy vampires, not even realizing what they do. When you are around people who are ignorant of information and knowledge, they are dangerous. All right? They are dangerous because they literally do not know what they do. If an individual does not have knowledge of self, they are Agent Smith. You understand that? They are Agent Smith, which means that the programming in this reality can take them over and they not even realize it, spewing it, moving in a particular set of rules and actions that they don't even know are detrimental to you and them. And because they have not gone into the information and read the information and have the type of understanding that you have, to them, you are the enemy. And to you, they are the enemy. So understanding that, you might as well walk away. Because if an individual does not want to know anything, then there's nothing that you can do for them. You understand that? Nothing that you can do for them. An individual has to want to put the information inside of themselves, because I cannot save you. You cannot save your friends. You have to be able to save yourself, because if you do not save yourself, then you are not doing the work. And if you are not doing the work, you have not earned this right to be conscious. You are now a zombie. Not realizing you are a zombie because you are asleep. Your soul is asleep and your avatar, your ego, is ruling and controlling your life. Point blank, period. So I hope this video helped. If y'all need any products, y'all know where to go. In10sityfitnessunited.com. Best products on them. See what deals I got going on my website. If you got any comments, you want to like, you want to share, if you feel like you're going through this, you feel like it's something else that I didn't mention, leave it in the comments section. Because at the end of the day, we're all family anyway. All right? All of us are family. And by being family, talk to me. Because I know I look familiar to many of y'all. Because we agreed upon waking each other up at this particular time eons ago. And now we're finally here going through the great quickening, the great awakening for the next stage of our evolution. This human experience is only a pit stop. Understand that many people are not feeling it. And that's cool, because they'll come back as our children and we'll raise them right anyway. All right? So besides that, I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all soon to the next video. Peace.